Everybody, welcome again to another IronHike podcast. Today we have special guests Patty and Mitchell. Patty was a mountain athlete that participated in the Everest event last month in our Mohawk Mountain series in October of this year. She's going to talk a little bit about her experience with us. Over there to my right, we have the first and only Olympus Mons non-finisher, and then the first and only Olympus Mons finisher, Dr. Scott Festa, and co-founder. And then co-founder Cliff Anders has joined us as well. And with that, we are going to show you some pictures of Patty at our event series. Just she is getting her finisher medal with Dr. Festa. You might know this gentleman. He's present on the call today. Yeah, but it was a great showing. She crushed it. I hiked behind her and got lapped by her several times, and I unfortunately didn't finish my quest, but I will be back. I finished the distance, but not in time. So with that, I'm gonna. Oh, that's one of my favorites. Look at that one. Pow! It's amazing. All right, with that, I'm gonna unshare, and we'll get started with the podcast. All right. So, Patty, tell us a little bit about your endurance background and your backstory. Like, how did you get into endurance events?
Formal endurance events, it's a pretty new thing for me. I've always been a hiker and an outdoors person, and pretty much anything outdoors, and did a couple of really long kayak paddle events. I'm not what you would call a real runner. I run and I've done a half marathon and stuff, but I'm not a real runner. I'm just a wannabe runner. But I can go and go and go, just not that fast. So I really kind of started, deciding to push my limits as I started getting up in my years, because I don't believe age should ever be a limitation. I think it's all about your mind. And had heard about some events that were endurance hiking events, and I did one in 2023, and I had a pretty grueling time because I had some personal issues. I mean, I completed what I did, but had no desire to do it again. And interestingly enough, then I saw you guys. I think I actually saw you on social media, but I was searching out other events, and y'all popped up in my search engine. But I saw you first on social media, and I was kind of intrigued. And so I went to your website to find out what you guys were all about, and sort of instantly resonated with what you're doing. And in spite of last year saying I wasn't going to do it again, I immediately was like, I got to do this with these guys.
And not only that, you drove all the way from Texas to Connecticut to do it. Amazing.
Yes, that's how bad I wanted to do IronHike. Yeah, it just, so, as the grand picture is like, I'm not truly, I guess I am an endurance athlete now, but I've never really thought of myself as that. I'll do 20-mile hikes in a day or whatever, but never as an organized event. I haven't done it, I do my own thing usually. Mm-hmm. I'm into fitness and all of that, but, organized events are very new to me, really only in the last couple of years. And I have to say that particularly with my experience with IronHike, I really see the value of doing things in an organized group, because as you guys call it, shared suffering. I mean, when you're going through hell, it's nice to have some buddies going through hell with you. So, yeah, sure. I really, that drew me to you guys, the way that you structured it, the way it was inclusive, the way it was a little more intimate. It was more self-supported, which is what I'm used to. I loved that aspect. You guys are there 100% to support us, but you kind of have to at least have a little bit of common sense to support yourself too. And I was smart enough to bring my crew of one, who was my good support. And that helped a lot too. But that's kind of my story. Like, it's no great story. It's just I lucked onto you guys, and I'm kind of new to this thing, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So I guess the next question I have is, you guys are we're all kind of in you and Mitchell and I are in the same age group.
Yeah.
That's the over 60 something crowd. And
Yes.
And you guys are wearing it really well. I've got some lessons to learn from both of you, but can you tell me a little bit about, was age a factor at all in getting your 49 laps in, or, was there enough time to get it done? Or like, 'cause there's other people out there that are our age going, now, hell no, I'm not doing that. Right. So.
Right. Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. So, I would have to say that at this age, and I'm not ashamed to say I'm 61, I am probably in better shape than I've been most of my life. I've been in health and fitness most of my life, but I really believe that you can, in fact, continually improve. And if you know how to strengthen your body and fuel your body, and perhaps most importantly, pay attention to what's going on up here, you can do anything. Like, I think you guys gave ample time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a challenge. It was hard, it's not like it was just a walk in the park. It was really hard. But that's kind of the beauty of it. It is doable if you decide you're going to do it and you don't give yourself an out. It's completely accessible. And I think that, one of the things you guys do well is that you have different options for people, regardless of where they are, fitness wise, age wise, whatever. And I think it gives people the opportunity to kind of test where they're at and maybe push their limits a little bit, and perhaps see where they're at, spend a year training, getting in better shape, putting in the missing pieces, and coming back and even finishing or going farther. To me, that's like my plan. I'm going to keep going farther and farther until I can't,
Absolutely. So describe your experience. Like, tell me the story. Like, you hopped in the car in Texas, and then what?
Yeah, we drove.
Tell me that story. Like, all the way up
all
the way up to you got your medal and went home. Like,
yeah, we drove for 3 days. We split it into 3 days. We did about 10 hours or so each day. Mitchell and I split the driving on the way up, and that's important because I did 0 driving on the way home.
On the way back.
He was my chauffeur on the way back. I was inflamed and tired. Yeah, and very stiff. So yeah, we hopped in the car. We got up there. We came and checked in Saturday morning. You guys had hot coffee for us.
Yep. What were your first impressions?
It's a good question. I'm trying to think. Like, it was still dark when we got there. I know we walked in and everybody was super friendly. You guys were getting the bags ready. It was really easy to register. You gave us coffee, so we were instantly friends.
Yeah, thanks for the coffee, man.
Yeah, it was good. It is good coffee. Shout out to Divvy Tree, our coffee sponsor.
Absolutely. So then we we're kind of trying to get our together. We had brought a couple of chairs and we brought our tents. We got our tent set up, and didn't have a pop-up or anything. And you guys instantly were super kind and said, hey, put your chairs in the recovery tent. You offered us that, which was dynamite, and we so appreciate it. It was very kind. And we got all set up, and then loved your opening ceremony. It was very poignant, very, very nice when Cliff sang the national anthem. Amazing, beautiful a cappella rendition. Love that, Cliff. You did a fantastic job. And then Paul taking the flag up the mountain was really beautiful. That was super, super meaningful, I think. And then we all did our thing, and the first few laps felt good. I mean, going up, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. So you get that last little section, and I was like, oh, whew. Yeah, I had some choice words to say about that. But, running down felt good. And it was just, I decided going into this event that I was going to enjoy the entire event, that it wasn't just about getting the medal and getting the numbers. And, looking around at the fall color and how beautiful it was, and my fellow athletes. And I loved every single lap, and, kept at it. and at it until finally hit the summit. And it was not easy, but with Mitchell's support, and then with you guys all being there and making it, to be honest, it's unbelievable that it was such a pleasant experience to be suffering so much, but it really was pleasant.
Yeah,
so,
thank you. Yeah,
I'm gonna I'm going to jump in real quick because I just got a couple of things to say about my overall impressions of both of you. First off, kudos for driving, right? And splitting the drive. Aubrey does not drive anywhere. If we have to go anywhere, I do all the driving, and I'm happy to do so. I don't want to sound like I'm bad mouthing her. Not in the least. The third lap. Remember what I said about the third lap? I'm like, oh, that's the lap that you start to figure things out. And you clean up very well. I almost didn't recognize you.
No, hold on. No. They both do. They both do.
Well, yes, but I remember I kept thinking about, and I may have said this to Cliff or not, but there's a line in one of the Ted Lassos where Coach Beard says to Ted Lasso concerning Roy Kent, and he's like, "Oh, you think he's mad now? Wait till we win him over." And with Mitchell, like I just remember, man, that guy's really standoffish, and I'm not sure if he wants anything to do with anybody. And he's like, then I went over to Cliff and I'm like, you think he's mad now? Wait till we win him over. And and that's exactly what happened. Like all of a sudden we just started talking, and that was really good. I once took a music lesson, or I was talking to a musician, a really, really good professional musician, about the ukulele one day, and I was like, I just kind of fiddle around with this thing. I'm not a musician, and then we played something, and he said, "Hey, buddy, I got news for you. You are a musician, whether you choose to believe that or not." Right. And so when you say, I just kind of fiddle around, I'm not a real athlete. I'm not a real athlete either. But the truth is, we're real athletes. And believe it or not, we're probably closer to world-class athletes than we are farther away from it because of that time and that distance and that determination and that grit. Those are the just kind of high points that I had with my encounter with the both of you guys. Again, you think he's mad at us now? Wait till we win him over.
Thank you.
So on that note, so I also remember I was trying to be a good host and make Mitchell at home, because we have a lot of plus ones, right? People that show up, they're supporting other people. Well, the 3-day drive, the 3-day drive home, and the 3 days waiting for you to finish your thing, that's a lot of commitment. So I wanted to ask Mitchell, like, if someone's bringing their athlete to the mountain and they're not going to participate, like, was that better than you thought it would be? Did you think you would be bored for 3 days? Like, how did it turn out for you?
Well, actually, I really thought I was going to be bored. I was going to sit there and just wait for her to come up and down. But, you start engaging with other athletes. I start cheering other people on. I found because I told the story. I had no intentions on meeting anybody, talking to anybody. I was just going to sit there and just do my thing with Patty. But listen to Cliff play the guitar, listening to Scott, you offering me coffee back and forth. It was, it made it real special. It took me out of my little zone and made me, it was like, I started learning people's names, started cheering people on.
Yeah.
You may have an idea to do one thing, but you'll get soaked up in the community so quick. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing that. There's this notion. So we're trail people. We're not really ultra marathoners. We have a trail heritage, right? And so in the trail world, on the Appalachian Trail, long distance hikers, on the PCT, CDT, they have this thing called a trail family. And this is how trail families form. Like, I feel like these events are perfect for cultivating trail families. And by the end of this thing, everyone feels like family. Like we just went through something together that not many people have gone through together. And suddenly we're differentiated from everybody else, and we can identify with each other. And that's the vibe we're going for. And I think that we achieve that. I'm looking forward to achieve that even better in 2025, when everyone starts in a staggered way and they all finish together. So I wanted to add, thanks for sharing that, Mitchell. I wanted to ask one last thing of Patty. So, well, two things actually. What's the advice you would give to somebody considering doing this, even from as far away as Texas, and even if they're bringing a support person or team a +1 or somebody, what's your advice for them? And the last thing is, if you can close us out on anything you'd like to say, including talking a little bit about your business and the practice you have in the endurance and wellness space.
Sure. Thank you. My advice is pretty simple. I would say, like, sign up and commit. Do it. Like, don't think about it and train. And then if you're going to do it, like, if you're interested in IronHike, and I would hope that people would be, it's just, it has so many benefits for you. I can't even go into all of it. Like, you should do it. Like, if anybody even has a slight bit of interest, my advice is sign up and then train toward it. Just do it. Like, literally just do it. Because if you want it bad enough, you will figure out how to make it happen. And if you don't, you'll figure out excuses, right? But I just think anybody that's thinking about doing it, do it 100%. It's worth it. It will change your life. Like, the training for it is fun. That's its own journey. The event is, for me, and like I said, I did one other before, but I have to say your event was above and beyond my expectations. Just what I got out of it. It's almost hard to put into words. So my advice is just do it. Like, don't waffle around, man. Just hit the button, just register, and then you'll figure out a way to get there. If you're bringing somebody, the support is huge. Like, I really, I felt a huge difference being able to have Mitchell there to help anticipate my needs and just help me. It was just super nice having someone there. But even if you don't have someone to come with you, you guys provide an immense amount of support. And the other athletes will provide support. So even if you show up solo, you're not going to be alone. So my advice is just do it. Just do it. And as far as, getting the training and that sort of thing, so that is my business. I've for decades have been a personal trainer. I'm a yoga instructor, a meditation instructor. I work a lot with people who have had trauma. But interestingly enough, regardless of your age, like, the older I've gotten, and a lot of my clients are even older than me, there's a certain edge that you get in knowing your body well enough to know, like, you can listen to your body more. I think young people, like, they've got it. They can just, like, tough everything out, which is awesome.
Or Scott.
Yeah. Well, Scott's a young person. Yeah. Why not? So, you can just kind of tough it out, but, the more mature you get, I think you tune into your body more, and there's a lot of innate wisdom in the body, and you learn to listen to it, and then you can learn to train around it. So I think as far as, like, training, one of the things I do, I have clients for all different types of things, but I do online as well as in person. And one of the things that I find with a lot of endurance events like this is everybody is all about the endurance. And I'm not going to knock that, because there's a lot of amazing, like, ultra runners that were at the event, et cetera. But the one little piece that I see that is missing a lot is just the actual strength. You have to have endurance and stamina, but you have to have some strength to get up and down the mountain. And then even more important than that is your mindset. So if you have a good mindset, all the other stuff comes into, you'll have a mindset to train. You'll have a mindset for recovery and sleeping and nutrition. The first thing you work on is mindset. And that's kind of a hobby of mine too. So.
Outstanding. So real quick, so we can wrap up, 2 things. First of all, I do want to benefit from eating better. So I am going to reach out to you and get some advice. I think that's one of the things that's missing in my training regimen is weight management and eating better. I came prepared for this event. I was strong. My endurance was good. I was a little overweight, and I talked too much, as the guys will point out, between laps.
That was the only limitation.
However, can you tell, like, for those that are watching this podcast, can you tell them how to actually reach out to you? Like, is there a website or something you want to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll apologize just straight up front. It's a really long name. You can search me out. So my name is Patty Williamson. My website is healingwithnatureandyogatherapy.com. We do a lot of stuff because outdoors, nature is very healing, particularly for people who've had trauma, which, like I said, I work with that. I'm also on Instagram, healing_nature_yoga. Same thing on Facebook.
That one's easier to remember. So say that one again.
Yeah, it's healing_nature_yoga. Or you can actually, like on Instagram or even online, just search out Patty Williamson, and those sites should pop up. Yeah,
absolutely. And real quick, Patty and Mitchell are part of our family now. So if you don't remember that, just go to ironhike.com and email us, and we'll get in touch with them for you. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, folks.
That.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Mitchell.
Thank
Bye,
you.
man.
Appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Later.
All right.
Oh man,
Bye.
John was like, "I'm out here."
Great to
dude.
see you, Mitchell.
Yeah, man.
It's nice. It's nice seeing you guys again.
Yeah, good seeing you too, man.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
You too.
Are you doing the next one?
No. I think I think there's another room, so we got to go out, go into the next room.
Yeah, but I'm doing all three tonight.
Yeah, I'll hop in with you. I'll be there.
All right, he's got to send me the link to it because Colonel Potter. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well,
Yeah. Oh look, he just sent me the link.
That's awesome. See you there.
All right, man.